Hello, everyone, and welcome. Today we're talking about the Carolina Panthers. Offseason, trades. Let's get to it. Okay, the first thing is Sam Darnold. The trade that they just made at the quarterback spot, even though they have Teddy Bridgewater. Darnold is a little bit younger, hasn't played with a lot of talent around him, has flashed immense talent, hasn't really had the opportunity to establish himself as a proven winner, primarily because he played for the Jets. With that being said, what does this franchise do with Teddy Bridgewater? Teddy's not going to want to go into a situation where he's got to compete and win that competition, and especially with a Sam Darnold, because that could go either way. Sam is an immensely talented quarterback with 3 years of starting experience and has flashed immense ability without a lot around him. Carolina is a team with massive amounts of weapons. DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson, Christian McCaffrey in the backfield. They've taken some steps by bringing in some depth offensive linemen to compete in training camp. I think even right now, you bring Taylor Morton back, and you have Greg Little. I know a lot of people. Greg Little is a mixed bag, but on the old line, you have a lot of talent. Some of it's raw, some of it needs to be developed. You need a left tackle. You go into the draft. If Micah Parsons is there, that's interesting. But can you still get your left tackle? Penei Sewell, Rashad Slater from Northwestern. Now you're starting to talk about solidifying that front group. And your number one weapon, honestly, is Christian McCaffrey. DJ, not taking anything away from DJ Moore, but your number one weapon as far as total production is Christian McCaffrey. It's nothing for him to have a 100 game where he's got 100 yards rushing, 100 yards receiving in the same game, multiple touchdowns, where DJ Moore is more than capable of scoring, 2 touchdowns a game, but I think that's his limit. A 1,200-yard receiver last year in DJ Moore, and both Christian McCaffrey and DJ Moore complement each other very, very well. With the addition last year of Robbie Anderson, over 1,000 yards, 95 receptions. You're really placing the pieces, and these are moves that are already there. And this is going to be Robbie Anderson's second year on the team. And for most people, it's always better. There's more continuity. There's more carryover. It's always easier the second year because your execution is higher. You know the playbook. You know the people around you. And bringing in Sam Darnold, all them highlight plays. I want to point out something. All them highlight plays that were Sam Darnold was a part of were to Robbie Anderson. They took Robbie Anderson out of the equation last year for the New York Jets, and it went badly. It went horribly. So the wide receiver spot for Sam Darnold is going to be just absolutely loaded, whether he's dropping it off to Christian McCaffrey. It's really, really a strong team. It's just a matter of, is there a competition at training camp, or is there a trade before training camp happens? Maybe even before the draft. There's been rumors of Teddy Bridgewater exploring and the Carolina Panthers looking for a trade option. Maybe one of those options is Houston. But is that a permanent, spot where he's going to be there for multiple years? We'll have to see what happens with the Deshaun Watson situation. Now, Carolina this year has done well in free agency. Hassan Reddick is one of those linebackers that he can play that rush linebacker spot, or he can put a hand in the ground. He can stand up. He gives you a little bit in pass coverage, but most of what he's going to bring is going to be against the run and the pass coverage. Um, some under the radar moves. John Miller. Okay, he's had an up and down career, but big, strong, physical at the point of attack. Same thing with Martez Ivy. They're bringing in a lot of zone blocking, very, very massive offensive linemen, and that's the theme that I'm noticing. A lot of inside zones, blocking schemes, kind of guys. Taylor Morton signed to the franchise tender, and a low risk move in Frankie Lavu. Frankie Lavu is somebody that's been in the league a few years now, and every year he's gotten better. He was a free agent rook out of Washington State, and he has gotten better every year. They just signed him to a 1-year deal just to let him, see what can you do. Can you help us in this situation or that situation? On third down, can you specialize? Can you play some special teams? And then another under the radar move, David Moore from Seattle. A lot of people know David Moore because he played for Seattle, made some plays. I'm not saying he's like the ultimate playmaker, but he can play the slot position and he can be productive in that position. I think Carolina has set themselves up very well. Do I think Carolina is a contender? Maybe not yet, but they're definitely in the right path. If they make the upgrade at offensive line, now that the 8th pick could go a lot of different ways depending on what happens with all these quarterbacks that are in the draft. If the top 4 or 5 picks, or if 5 quarterbacks go before they select, there could be a plethora of athletes available. And what they'll do from there, we would have to see. You never really know if Kyle Pitts, Jalen Waddle, some of those guys, if they're on the board, Micah Parsons, if they're on the board, it could get real interesting real fast as far as what decision do they make. Do they upgrade the offensive line, or do they go with somebody that makes them more explosive or better on defense? Whether it's Patrick Surtain, he's another guy. You got to play Tom Brady and everything that the Bucks are bringing. So the number one way to do it is lock it down on the outside. They did get AJ Bouye, solid pick at the corner spot. Solid pickup at the corner spot. But it's not that I feel like Carolina is a contender. It's that I feel like Carolina is trending I think Matt Rule has the team going in a very good direction. Players are developing. You're getting the production on the field. You have 2-1, even without Christian McCaffrey. Mike Davis did a pretty good job. He's not Christian McCaffrey, but he did a pretty good job. You have 2 1,000-yard receivers on the outside. And Teddy Bridgewater played some good quarterback last year. And now you have 2 quarterbacks going into this season, 4 right now. We don't know what's going to happen from here. I'll be touching back with the Carolina Panthers and going through any updates on the Teddy Bridgewater situation. I do appreciate you watching. And if you enjoyed this video, please like below and drop a comment in the box. Thank you for joining. Have a great day.